Hi everyone, good evening. I'm excited to be here today with you guys. So, in my last video, someone was asking me where is my hair. Auntie Myra Benson, this is my hair, or this is my hair. So, today I decided to come up, very well dressed up and ready for you guys. And I'm going to be sharing something really interesting today. Um, Especially, I'm going to be concentrating on my journey as a founder running a business in Nigeria. Man, it is not easy. All you founders, business owners, company runners, everybody, I cut cap for you. Now they try. Nigeria is not easy. Nigeria happens every day. Sometimes you wake up and think, did I make a good decision by starting this business? It is not easy. Ah, well done to everybody. Everybody that is doing their best, coming out, showing up, you know, doing whatever they can to ensure that they put food on the table. Both the person walking on the streets, both the person carrying block on their head, even the one working in the corner office. Well done, Oga. Well done, madam. Una they try. Una they try. Nigeria, we will survive. Okay, so on a lighter note, today I want to talk about my experience as a founder. I'm not going to be talking about the technical stuff. I'm just going to be real. All the emotions you experience, all of those, you wake up in the morning and you think, should I continue? Should I shut down and just go and rest? That is what I'm here to talk about today, right? So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my founder series where we talk about the feelings, the one where you sleep at night and you're just lying on the bed, you cannot sleep, you're turning around. Why? Because money never enter number one or number two. The thing where you think say you they do, where go, you go cash out yesterday, never still click. We are talking about it today. So if today, tomorrow, sometime within the course of the year, or maybe in a few years down the road, you decide that you want to become a founder, come, let us talk. So that you understand what you're going into. Being a founder, being a business owner is not easy. Oh. My sister, my brother, it is not easy. Don't look at all these people that are, that have made it, and then you think it was, an easy trip. It wasn't. If they sit down and tell you their journey, their stories from waking up and scribbling down on a book and say, this is what I want to do, my dear, we'll talk about that another day. But for today, let's be real. If you decide, you wake up this morning and say, okay, I'm tired of working for XYZ employer. Maybe they are doing this, they are doing that, they are doing this, they're doing some things you don't like, and you say you want to found your own company. Let us talk about it. All right. Sometimes you have to sit down and really analyze before you wake up and say you want to leave your current employment. You have to really analyze and understand what the stakes are to starting your own company. You have to analyze it well, because the decision to start your own company, when you make up that your mind and make that decision to start your own company, you're going to, sit and begin to view the business you're about to, start from the eyes of the boss that maybe you think is bad, right? Or you're going to be looking at it from a higher perspective, and then you will know whether this decision was right for you or not. However, if you muscle up and say, I am going to do this thing, and you have agreed in your heart that is what you want to do. Now, let us talk about some of the experiences you're going to witness in this journey, how you're going to feel, and we talk about how you're going to overcome them. So first things first, before you decide that you want to start your own company, you have to define who you are and what you want to do. It is super, super, super important so that you, first of all, create a discipline and a habit that you want to be seen and referenced to about who you are and what you do and what your business represents. And then you must also define the scope of the quality of service. I refer to quality. Quality. If it's excellence that you want to be seen, you have to, as a person, be excellent. If it's integrity and transparency you want to be known for, you have to show that. If it is leadership you want to be known for, you have to show that. That means you have to create a personal discipline for who you are, which would also translate into the quality of business that you offer to clients. The second thing I also wanted to mention is that some days you will be full of anxiety. Wallahi, wallahi, anxiety is real, right? You will have anxiety. So let it not look unfamiliar. The reason I'm saying this is so that it doesn't feel unfamiliar when you experience these things. So anxiety can come from many several reasons. Number one, you could have, maybe you took a loan to start your business. Maybe you used your life savings to start your business. Or maybe someone sent you some money and you have been spending, and you have not seen results yet. Calm down. Business is a seed. Once you put it inside the ground, it begins to germinate. And once it germinates, eventually to yield the fruit. You are not going to do business because you're looking for quick money. That's not what we do business for. Business is not for quick money. Business is first building reputation and image, then profit, right? So the more people know you, the more they want to engage with you, then the profits begin to come in. So you have to prepare your mind for that. Don't enter into business and say, oh, my friend started a business yesterday and he's already cashing out. My dear brother, my dear sister, you don't know what he is doing. He could have a sponsor somewhere who is helping to lift his operations and keep it going. Or maybe he had favor. There are some people that have favor. People just like them. I want to do something with them, right? So what I'm saying is don't rely on luck. First start to build your reputation. And during that process of building reputation, sometimes you could have an anxiety because, things are not picking up as fast as you anticipated or expected it to. Just stay there, you go walk, stay there, you go walk. Don't pack up because maybe the expectations were not met when you wanted them to, right? So I also want to let you know that you will feel overwhelmed. Yes, sometimes you will feel overwhelmed. But when you do, I think you should look for a mentor, right? Or fellow business people who have like minds like you that are open and willing to share their experiences and talk about the things that they are doing. Because I have found from my own experience that talking about the things that keep you overwhelmed, first of all, it lightens you up, number one. Secondly, it also gives you the opportunity to hear from other people what they are doing to keep their minds in, a perfect state, right? So another thing about talking about your experiences I have learned is that it opens you up to seeing solutions inside the problem inside the thing that you consider a problem. So will you feel overwhelmed? Yes. But should you pack up because you feel overwhelmed? No. You've got to stay the journey. You have to keep being resilient. You have to keep pushing and you will definitely succeed. So, I also want to say this. While you're building the business, you have to build the leader of the business. Remember I said earlier that when you're starting a business, you have to define who you are. You have to define what the scope of your business is. So please build the business leader. You are the CEO, you are the founder, you know. I usually refer to this as downstream excellence because the head decides what the bottom, represents. The habits, the disciplines that you know, you represent, those are the things that the people who are going to be working with you are going to also represent, right? They are going to look like you. So once you keep building yourself and you keep instilling discipline in yourself, your people will also follow in the same line and be exactly who and become exactly who you are and what you represent. So by all means, please build yourself while you are building the business. Don't build a business and put policies and instructions and structure and say this is how things are supposed to be doing. People follow and look like who they follow, right? So that's the context of what I'm trying to share. Then lastly, the clients, before you start doing anything for them, this one was an eye-opening session. In fact, I need to open a consultancy practice for this. When you meet your first client, I beg, I take God beg you. First of all, define your work structure. Define your work structure, your terms, and your fees before you provide any solution. Yes, because there are users in this industry. In this, the business of owning a company, they are users. So it's different from people who do services, because products rather, because you know you something like this, you could create something like this and then you sell it. You can say, okay, this is the actual price, cost production, to produce 1 unit of this, and so this is the amount I want to sell. And I've actually seen certain experiences where people downplay the cost of making 1 unit of this just because they want to make a sale. It happens a lot, yes. But even when you come to the service industry, it's good to be very specific. This is what I'm offering. This is how much I'm charging for what I'm offering. And we talk about the what I'm offering to you. First, you have to be sure that the client wants what you're offering. That means you have to have done your own background research to identify the needs that that client have, right? And then profile your solutions for their problems before you now say you want to give them fees and structure and all of that and all of that. But what I'm actually referring to right now is the fact that certain times you would have done all the background research work you were supposed to do, and this client is still looking for someone to use for free. I'm saying before you open your mouth and start providing solutions to their problems, please define how much you're going to charge for it. Let them know on time and agree to it. Because I had an experience, dissimilar experience. I learned from it, and I think that in this founding, series that I'm going to be sharing, I think it's something that any new founder should know on time. They are users. So before you start, before you open your mouth and say, okay, this is what your problem is, these are the solutions, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. Protect yourself with a formal work structure and fee structure. Let two of you agree and say, okay, this this is how much I want to pay for this before you start profiling it. Because I've seen that sometimes you provide a solution so that the person can feel like you know what you're doing and you know what you're offering and you can solve their problems. And then they take the solutions you've given to them and use it and leave you outside. So I have come to the end of my live section. I hope you picked up one or two things that will be beneficial to you. I'll see you another time. Have a splendid evening.